Salve a tutti, sono Almaro e benvenuti in un nuovo video. Oggi siamo qui per fare un'intervista a Trym Torson, famoso per essere il batterista degli Emperor e per aver suonato anche in band come gli Enslaved e come gli Zyklon. Prima di iniziare lo ringrazio per la sua disponibilità, per aver accettato di essere qui oggi. Vi lascio l'intervista e vi auguro buona visione. Nice to meet you and thank you for staying here today.
Thank you.
Why you started to do music and why you started to do with metal music? Talk me about the beginning of your career and your influences on drum.
The first musical piece that I remember listening to ever was Love Gun by Kiss. I was actually a big Kiss fan even before I heard Kiss. We collected like posters and yeah, we just loved how they looked. And then one of my friends has been on a vacation and he had a cassette tape when he got home with the Love Gone and put it on and I was just blown away. So I would guess Peter Criss was a big influence from the beginning because I just loved how, all the drums, how it looked like. And later, I think it was maybe when I was around 14, 15 years old, I got my first drum kit, but I had no clue how to play them whatsoever. I didn't know how to play a beat, nothing. So I probably had those drums for a year before I started to learn how to play them. And then I listened to, I listened to a lot of like Black Sabbath and Rainbow, and then I started to listen to more like heavier stuff like Metallica. And then eventually, I discovered Slayer. And once I discovered Slayer, there was no turning back. So I would say Lars was a big influence as well, and definitely Dave Lombardo. But also drummers like Gene Hoglan and Mickey D, and yeah, there's so many amazing drummers that's been a big influence throughout my whole life.
Talking about your work with Enslaved and about the realization of the first Enslaved album.
I met Ivar when he was probably like 10 years old. We were just kids, and he played guitar. I happened to have a drum kit, so we started to sort of play together and just, try how to learn to play, basically. Then he later joined Grutle in another project. And when that project was done, he phoned me up and said, like, are you still interested in playing drums? And I said, yeah, sure. Because we want to create a new band. And that was named Enslaved. Um, and by that time, we have been more influenced by different kind of style because early days we were into more I would say regular heavy metal, but also like death metal or similar to that. But we all had like a feeling that, it didn't feel right, sort of. It didn't feel, I don't know. I wouldn't say Norwegian, but it just didn't feel like it had the atmosphere that we felt, being in Norway. Um, so we were focusing in making music which had more atmosphere and feeling rather than being just like over complicated and because the first thing we made was a lot of themes, it could be like 20 different riffs in one song. But now we wanted to sort of strip it down, keep it more simple, keep it more clean. Um, and that's how we started with Enslaved, making sort of like soundscape metal. So that was sort of like in the area of the beginning of black metal, and also I would say Viking metal as well. So that was, yeah, it was quite fun, I would say, because we were exploring sort of new areas. We tried to focus on our own and what we were making ourselves and not look too much about what other bands, especially like in America or other parts of the world, what they were doing, and more focused. But like let's do this the way we want to do it. So it was a fun process to try and come up with something. I wouldn't say new, but something that felt unique for us.
Let's talk about Emperor. So, talking about your joining the band and about the realization of the Emperor albums.
So by the time I joined Emperor, we had sort of established like a music style and a genre. Um, and when I parted with when Enslaved, I we were sort of wanting to go in different directions. So we came home from a really exhausting long American and Mexican tour, and Ivar and Grutle was anxious to keep going with the new material they have. Well, we have been working on. Um, I, to be honest, wasn't really sort of thrilled about the style because it was going more in a sort of progressive rock style with what they wanted to do, while I wanted to sort of go in a different style. I wanted to make it more extreme, faster, more sort of aggressive. So we parted, and I was phoned by Samath, and he asked if I wanted to try to play with them. So I went for a couple of rehearsals, and I instantly like, oh yes, this is the perfect direction of what I want to do as well. So I was really happy to be able to be a part of the Anthems album because that was exactly what I want to do as well. And yeah, and then we just kept going.
Why Emperor decided to stop in 2001 and it's in program a new Emperor album in the future?
No, I don't think so. So when we stopped in 2001, we already knew that this is going to be the last album. So me and Sarmat already have been put together Zyklon. We wanted to head in a more sort of that direction, while Ishan, he wanted to explore new stuff. He wanted to bring lots of other elements into his music. Um, so we sort of have different visions of what we wanted to do. So if we would come back now and try to record a new Emperor album, to be honest, I don't think it would be like anything none of us have done before. It would be something that I don't feel would be a proper Emperor album because we are so different in terms of how we produce music, in terms of what kind of styles we like, and how would we go on to create an album now so many years later that would actually sound like an Emperor album. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will be happy about it, but I think in general it would be sort of like an album that nobody probably want to incorporate in the sort of Emperor saga. So yeah, I mean, it could have been fun, but to be honest, I don't think it's would have been a sort of something to put together with the rest of the Emperor legacy.
What about the Emperor project for 2025 and your personal projects?
So for 2025, we don't have a lot of projects. We have some shows coming up. We are playing now later this month on the 70,000 tons of metal. And in May, we're going for a sort of a tour. I mean, I wouldn't say a tour, but I think we're playing like 8 shows in America. And then we're playing some festivals. We are playing a festival in Norway called Tons of Rock. I know we're playing Romania. I also think we're playing England. So basically, what we do now is playing festivals. And we try for the most part, to go places we necessarily don't have been before or for a long time. So we try not to just go to the same places all the time. We try to arrange to go to places to meet new audience, but sometimes that's what we want and what the promoter can offer doesn't necessarily be the same. So I know a lot of people like in America, why are you not coming to this city or this that city? I mean, we wanted to go to many other cities and in South America as well. We wanted to go to Argentina and other places, but if the promoter can't, come with a show to these places, then we can't we can't just go on a plane and pop up and say, hey, let's play a show. So, but we try to organize so that we can travel to new places or back to places that we haven't been for a while.
If you want to be remembered for an album in your career, which is and why?
One album for my career. That's hmm. Well, to be honest, I don't know. I'm really honored that I've been able to be a part of the beginning of both Emperor and Enslaved. Um, and also what we did with Zyklon. So all these albums that we've done with those bands, I'm really happy to be a part of. I would say maybe I think the Frost album I was happy with at the time with Enslaved. It felt like a solid piece. The material was good. I mean, the atmosphere, everything sort of clicked on this one, and also the anthems with Emperor. Those two are probably the one that I would put the highest. And yeah, so I wouldn't say like one album is going to sort of match up everything, but uh, from my personal perspective, I would say probably anthems.
In your opinion, how many things have changed in metal scene when you started from nowadays, and if you had an advice for who want to be a musician nowadays?
When I started to play music, there was we didn't have all these channels. We didn't have YouTube and tutorials and stuff like that. We basically have to learn by listening. And I see a lot of incredible musicians today that are, technical skill like none have been seen before. I mean, it was not like that when I started to play. But to be honest, I feel that some of them are sort of losing the musical aspect of it. It's all about, how fast you can play or how technical you can be and stuff like that, rather than focusing on, okay, how do I make music that feel authentic, you know? Um, so I feel like people are not losing, but the music aspect is not the main priority, I feel sometimes. I feel the technique and mastering your instrument is more important now than the actual music. Um, so of course, if you are technical skill, that gives you the chance to do whatever you like. You can create whatever you like because you have the capability, but capability in itself doesn't create music, you know? It's just a tool. So I would say like for musicians now, try to focus on the music, because that's the most important part. If the people who are making the music doesn't feel that this is genuine, then nobody else will feel it either. So if you as a musician don't feel what you are making, then you can't expect anybody else to feel the same either.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for staying here today. Good luck for your projects and hi, Emperor. Have a
Ah,
nice day.
yeah, gracias. Bye bye.